So I remember so it's not about to we'll start shifting gears now. So I might shift gears. Okay, we'll take your relationship to another level. Then we talk about your career. Because I remember you saying maybe you've been career. What career do you think you'd have done?
So,
is it the accounting you
yes,
stayed with?
So when I was in
been...
school, I read accounting. And I remember in my 100 level, my goal in life when I was in 100 level was to be the first female president of ICANN.
Talk to me.
That was what I was gunning for. Because my grandpa was an accountant and he did so successfully well. So, of course, I grew up with him. All the accounting books, everything. So when it was time for me to go to school, I didn't know, what. I didn't exactly know what course I was going to. But my grandpa, he's wealthy, he has money. So, accounting, So that's how I chose accounting, and I was really going to, I saw myself in, boardrooms. I just had this picture of me just doing great things, leading stuff in finance and accounting. So I read accounting. Then, in my final year, Tara, Tara, she came to school we had a conference and she was invited to speak to us. And that was the very first time. I didn't know her before. I didn't know anything about her. And she started talking. I'm like, who is this woman? And then she talked about House of Tara and how she built it, from just being a makeup artist to this, conglomerate and all of that. I'm like, this woman, there must be something in this makeup. That's how my career changed.
That's how you dropped the accounting course and picked up makeup
literally, from wanting to be an accountant, I now wanted to be a makeup artist. It was so bad that Tara had mentioned that, that they're giving scholarships into House of Tara for those who want to train. So I applied for the scholarship and I started really praying, serious, that I would get the scholarship, I got my friends together.
Another prayer chain.
In fact, I remember
anytime I need a prayer chain, I'm going to reach out to you.
One time we had gone for Sunday service, and I literally after service on our way back to the hostel. But I got to, because we used to go to Winners Chapel sometimes for service. That's all the students coming. And so when we're walking back to school, to campus, I got to a junction. I just started rolling on the floor because of this car. I did not roll on the floor that I should finish in first class. I was rolling on the floor that I should get scholarship, Anyway, long and short, so by the time I graduated from school and the results, they sent the list of the people that got the scholarship. My name was not there.
You didn't there?
I did not. I didn't there. I wasn't there.
After the rolling.
After everything.
Wow.
I wasn't there, but that was really kind of heartbreaking for me. But I'd matured in my faith. I'm like, okay, no problem. I didn't get the scholarship. So the next alternative was to start looking for, makeup training schools in Lagos. So here I was, fresh graduate. There was this 3-month period till NYSC. I didn't just want to sit at home idle. I'd already moved to my mom's house, living with my mom. And there was really nothing I was doing. So then I remember my mom was into soap making. So she wanted me to learn how to make soap, but cocoa gel. This is not me.
But that entrepreneurial thing was already kicked.
Yes, it was actually already in me. Even when I was in school, I remember that. So there was this business idea I had in school. So Covenant University, every Sunday, the cafeteria is filled to the brim because right after service, everybody rushes to the cafeteria, so you can be on a queue for 2 hours waiting to buy food. So I just had this idea that, I could make a business of getting everybody's orders, meal orders, and then I'll go to the cafeteria the day before or very early in the morning and order all the meal, and they would deliver it to hostel. So I was actually doing that business, and I was very well known, for that. So back to after school, and I was just here. So I found a training school, and the amount for the training was 50,000 naira back then. And here I was now, fresh graduate, no money, no nothing, waiting for NYC. I didn't have any money. But I remembered that, one of my aunties, she said, oh, Funto, anything you want, just call me. She's, call me, I'll send it to you, So I sent her an email that Mao.
Proposal.
I want to learn makeup. Oh, this is how much it's going to cost, oh, and all of that. You know, I was really expectant that she even said that this girl is serious. Instead of you to be idle at home, you're looking for something to do. Next thing, she responded to my email. She had copied everybody in the family, my grandpa, my grandma, my aunties, my daddy's family. All of them were just lambasting me. That what do I mean? That I want to learn makeup. That I just finished my degree in accounting. I said I want to start thinking of my ICANN. That is makeup I want to do. You know, they're just lambasting. I remember reading all the trills. I was just crying. Like me that I just wanted to, you know, I thought that I would be like, you guys would
But
be
for
impressed.
them, they knew if you go that way, that means we're not going the career path everybody
Yes,
envisioned for
exactly.
you. And makeup then.
I make your
Let's call it
makeup,
a spade.
that's true.
Makeup then. Now, if a child tells you, I'm a makeup artist or what, you can still say,
True, exactly.
But for people, you know, for
and that generation,
that kind of family as makeup.
really,
Makeup,
really,
you know?
really, actually. But you know, I was really hot, sure. And I remember that night I got the email. I just cried. I cried myself to sleep. But I woke up the next morning and I'm like, see, my life is not in anybody's hands. So I was going to. Told myself I'm going to go to this makeup place. I'll ask to speak with the owner, and I will tell her my plight, and just ask her that if she can trust me enough to allow me to do the training. When I start NYC, I'll be paying her back in installments.
Talk about confidence.
I went that morning, entered bus, you know, went to locate the training school. I waited till the owner came. I spoke with her, and guess what? She said yes. And that's how I trained as a makeup.
So I believe this is the point you want to tell somebody that what's the worst that will happen if you ask for that thing.
Really, what's
You
really
get a
the-
no. And if you don't ask
Really?
anyway,
Exactly.
you might never get a yes.
Might never get
so
a
go
yes.
for it.
That's it. That's it.
You know, you might be looking at one angle and God can use another angle.
Absolutely.
You know? So the difference, you know, the first time, that was a major loss anyway, losing your dad, losing certain dreams. You felt that entitlement, that sense of entitlement, like I should be
Yes.
having. But this time, Maria, like, oh, I think I should be having this, or this should have been the response of my family, but it's a different response, but I know what I want.
Exactly.
So let's see another way to. So there's a way you cracked that entitlement,
Yes,
entitlement mentality.
Yes, you know, because I'd come to realize at that point in my life that really nobody owed me anything.
So you went for the makeup
yes.
and train.
Yes, I did, and then I remember, after I did my training, so I mean, during the time of the training, my NYC started, of course, and then during my NYC, I registered to do my ICANN, and then once you are done your accounting as a BSc, you just have like two, P1 and P2. And I just really prayed to God, like, God, so it's not like I want to do this ICANN, because I know that I'm not going to use it, but if you can just help me pass, you know, like, that was like my prayer to God. And I remember I went for ICANN classes. I was sit at the back, I'll be doing makeup for my friends. So they did not even think that I was a serious person. When the results came out and they saw that I passed all the two in one sitting.
Wow.
So that's how I passed my exams. And for me, it was like, finally, you people come and take your ICANN certificate. You know, that's how it felt, you know. And then I got a job, my first job as an accountant, you know. And it was at an IT firm in Lekki. So here I was, my first accounting role. I was a financial accountant. There was a car and a driver attached to my office. There were two of us, but the other lady had a car. So she didn't need the car and driver. So it was like the car and driver was for me, you know, come and pick me at home, drop me, take me back. And I was earning money in 6 figures. And I was living with my mom. So I wasn't paying rent. I wasn't buying food. I wasn't doing it. I was actually living.
You were living the life.
And I remember that, you know, all these bank marketers for banks, they will come to the office to ask for the accountant. And then the secretary will direct them to me. And, you know, okay, now I'm a little bit big. Then I was so tiny. So they'll come to my office and see me and say, I want to see your boss. Like, I'm the accountant. And I always enjoyed seeing the look on their face like, They can't believe that this pink girl, is the one in charge here. Yes, so I got into that role. And after about 2 years, I started to sense sort of like a dissatisfaction. I started to feel like not bored, but I just started to sense that like my life can be more than this. Like there has to be more to my life than just this accounting job. And at that time, I'd already started writing my first book. I remember then I would stay, because I was staying with my mom in Magodo, and the office was in Lekki. So I'll just stay in the office till after traffic had gone down. And it was that time when everybody had left the office. I just used to, write. I was doing the manuscript for my first book. And I remember that I'd finished this book, finished the manuscript, sent it to the publisher, and by the time he sent me the invoice to publish 1,000 copies then in 2012 was 1.2 million.
Wow.
Me, I still 1.2 million from. I don't have any daddy to call to say, oh, I'm doing this book. Oh, my mommy, what's that business? So I just had this idea to ask my boss for a loan, and that they'll be moving it like a staff advance and they'll be taking it out of my salary. And my boss said yes. So that's how I got a loan of 1 million naira. I was able to publish the book. I launched the book, had a launch event on a Sunday, I remember, because the very next Monday, I went back to work and I just knew that, no, this was it. This is me. I just borrowed money from my boss.
That was what I was going to say. Like,
I just borrowed money from my
have
boss.
liver with mouth. Did you
I
use
don't even know what type of confidence I had. I don't even know where this confidence came from. I went to meet my boss, and I told him that, sir, I want to resign. And the truth is, a week or two before, they had increased my salary. So it was like,
I'm looking at you.
So because it was really confused, and my boss then very nice, nice guy. My boss was the youngest, and my own direct boss was the youngest of the directors. He was 28. And it was just like, why? Where are you going to? What's like, okay, what's the matter? Like, okay, should we increase your salary? What exactly? Even me, I did not know what I was going to do next. But I just knew that I had to leave. There was just like an urgency.
How did you not pay the money?
To leave. Interestingly, when I told him I was leaving, I was like, okay, no problem. That's like they wrote it off.
Wow.
literally. So it's not like I didn't even pay it back. Maybe I'd paid maybe one, because I took it maybe like 3 months before then, before I published and then launched. So maybe I'd paid only once, and I didn't pay back the remaining. I left, And so the issue now became, how do I tell my family that I'm resigning? I could not even open my mouth to tell my mom, because she just have hypertension. Like, what's this girl? In this Nigeria, everybody is saying there's no job. You have a job, you have all these things, you have all these benefits, you're resigning. So I literally told her that I was on a leave for 2 weeks. But thankfully, somehow along the line, within those 2 weeks of my fake leave, I got an email.
Really fake leave.
I got an email on LinkedIn, and someone had recommended me for the role of a PA to the CEO of an interior design company, one of the big interior design companies.
So now we're entering, from makeup, from accounting to makeup, to accounting, and it was looking like you will live like a normal life for the first time, Then now interior decor.
Literally.
Okay.
And at this time, I did not even know that interior design was a thing. Like, I'd never even heard of it before. I didn't know what it meant. So when I got the email, I'm like, okay, I shall know what PA is. So I went for the interview. And I remember going for the interview and stepping into the showroom of the interior design company. And I literally went, wow. Like how like Mary and Elizabeth, something just
leapt
exactly, something leaped in my inside. I'd never seen furniture looking so beautiful, colors well matching, everything was. I was like, wow. So I went for the interview, and I got the role, and I started on that job, and that was like one of my most challenging jobs ever. So I did not know.
You did not know what you were asking. You did not know what you were looking for before.
I
So it was good for God to help you find
God
it.
helps me because that was so challenging. Because I remember every morning I'd have to wake up like 5 o'clock so I could leave the house with my stepdad, because I was with my mom like 5:30. He would drop me at CMS. I'll resume at my boss's house in Ikoyi.
No more driver.
No driver, oh my sister. I don't driver. Resume at my boss's house in Ikoyi like by 7. Then I plan a day, everything, and then I follow her to the office by 9. Resume the office by 9, do everything till 6. I will follow her back to her house in Ikoyi because the office was in VI. Follow her back to her house in Ikoyi before I will now start looking for BLT bus to go back
to me.
to my house. And I had like, it was such a stretching 3 months of my life. But I stayed on that job for 3 months. I mean, I remember it was within that time, I think my 3rd month there, there was this conference. Then I used to volunteer a lot. I mean, because I poured myself a lot into church, into service. Right, so I just remember there was this, and then I used to volunteer a lot for events. So there was this particular event that I had volunteered for, and one of the keynote speakers at the event was the MD at L'Oreal, a multinational beauty company. And he saw my first book on display for sale. And my first
That's
book.
our 1.2 million.
Yes. It was called Beautified. So it was basically a book about beauty, then my makeup artists, and all of that was about beauty, inspiration, and all of that. So he saw the book, and he went through it, and he was just asked, who did this book? And so someone came to call me that, this person wants to see you. So I went to meet him, and he gave me his card and said I should come to meet him at the office on Monday. This was a Saturday. So I went on Monday, to meet him. Thankfully, my boss had traveled out of the country that time. That week was free. So I went to meet him on Monday, and then from meeting him, we transferred me to HR. From HR, that's how they gave me a role. I started off as an intern because I didn't have the background, I did accounting.
So what did you do for them?
So I was in the marketing department, that's brand management and marketing. So I was an intern for 6 months, then I became an assistant brand manager. So that's how I shifted career.
Shift.
Exactly, And then it was on that role that I volunteered for another event, and I met my husband.
But before you met your husband, there have been some other meetings. We're about to go there.